Tonight on JoyNews Prime, Electoral Commission in talks with police to evaluate the security situation at Ekumfi in the central region, following threats by some residents to physically prevent EC staff from conducting the polls there tomorrow. We have details of an elaborate security plan presented to police for the polls and why the residents are infuriated. Also in this bulletin, approval of Chief Justice hanging the balance as the minority in Parliament boycotts the vetting scheduled for Saturday. Details as the House disagrees on dates for the vetting. And residents of the airport residential area demand immediate halt of a 22-story building amidst fears excavation works there could destabilize dozens of buildings and endanger lives of students.
Coming up in business, Food and Drugs Authority orders immediate withdrawal of 16 tomato paste brands on the Ghanaian markets. We have details coming up in business.
We are live from our studios in Kokomlemle on digital address GA09925339 on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Please stay tuned in. It's barely 24 hours to the district level elections. Residents get to choose who represent them at the various assemblies. The Electoral Commission has laid down its plans, citing security concerns at Ekumfi Imuna. We will hear those plans and concerns from the EC, but first let's take a tour across the country where candidates and voters have been speaking to us. We'll start from Ekumfi Imuna in the central region, where some residents have threatened to physically prevent EC staff from conducting the polls there tomorrow. The residents say they won't allow any campaign there unless the deplorable roads are fixed.
Sisiano, mbebuni na ye ni abrese sa afiwe padia omo ntwa kwan na ya de ayebato aba kane nyina nkro hudo enwatwe eye ekumfimuna ward nti se yaka ekumfimuna ward a de na eye ekumfimuna ward eye ekumfimuna ne manto mu a mensi enwatwe eye nkro to enwatwe ene yaka abomu a ya ina ya no esi ba ko se ye ntwa ya kwan a ye nto abada that's Romanum, ye two Atajuaha, ye jene waha, ye biajene, ye tune bebrebepa, a quine in Tiena, at a 4 crama matonko. Afensi and Quafo, Anna, a Yakako, Ewa Gambia, Senegal, Mauritania, Gambia, Chasa, I am in one was Cromo Hanum, young Quafo, Waquentium, Ghana, say, I bind the Bayasica, Nejana Tassi, I, a consumuna, the Atassis, I, ya import aya kakwa business and ya some ketwa da form ni nyina agina kro imuna so na wokọ Mauritania, Gambia, Senegal elenken joga kafinti chase wanyina Senegal ni nyina kro mu we imuna word and egu anu ma mo ya kakọ omo import ba atasa yetua and ya dia da form na ya na ba ni say kro di say na ya ntimi ntwa ya kwan ema finititi ya na nanu mo bresu bedun Yentla ya ka kwan da boba de boba ebi nto ya kwan so da ya dwa ya ase nti ya ma Electoral Commission atene wan ase ma onfa ballot box ensi kroma na krai nkroto anwatwe ya ni abrese ma yanto aba santi we are missing and then anado woni ba omia ya mamati ase ya se yanto aba santi ya ma.
You heard the residents of Ekumfi Imuna voicing their frustration and in essence saying that they will not vote until their roads are fixed. Correspondent Richard Kwejonyako joins me with more. Kojo, tell us more about the situation in Ekumfi.
So the action actually took place at Ekumfi Imuna. And it is not only Imuna as a community, but about 8 communities within the Ekumfi area. They came together. They complained about the nature of their road, the bad nature of their road. They say that they lose a lot of their produce to post-harvest losses when they farm and they are unable to send their produce home because the nature of the road is very bad. They also lamented about how that has affected health delivery in the area. Pregnant women do suffer, women, children, they do suffer as a result of that. They have also been recounting their contribution to the GDP of the country. They farm, they also grow onion, they also take part in some fishing activities that also go a long way to contribute to national development. So they do not understand why the government has looked on for them to suffer like that. And so they are sending a clear message to the Electoral Commission that tomorrow, being the day they are going to have the District Assembly elections, they are going to obstruct the EC officials, and not only obstructing their operations, they are also going to vandalize their property if they do succeed in mounting them. And so that is, a clear message they are sending out to them. They have also prevented the aspirant from campaigning in any of the areas. They say that it has become necessary for them to take this action because day in and day out, every 4 years and every other year, the politicians do come there to campaign. They give them promises, and then it is after the elections that they come face to face with the reality. They do not come in. So this time they have resolved not to allow any politician to step there. So they are calling on the youth of the area to come out tomorrow. They are going to embark on a strong demonstration, a very mammoth one, to drum home there. So that is what really is going to happen tomorrow.
How are authorities dealing with this matter?
Well, I tried speaking with the Ghana Police Service. They say that they've deployed their men on the ground. They are going to ensure that in terms of elections, they are going to provide the security. I've also been speaking with the District Security Directorate, and they say that, well, they are not in charge of security as far as the conduct of elections are concerned, and so they're going to fall on the Ghana Police Service. So we're hoping that things turn out well and there will be change of mind. But if they go ahead to embark or to carry out their threat, then, we do not know really what will happen tomorrow when the elections are yet to begin.
Kojanyako, thank you. We'll still come to you for subsequent bulletins for more. So how are electoral... Okay, so let's head to the Electoral Commission, which says it is in talks with the police to evaluate the security situation at Ekumfi. Here is Deputy EC Chairman in charge of operations, Samuel Tete.
Thank you very much. And in the first place, there are two issues. The first one is the polling stations that we use for our elections. And what we do is that we give the list of all polling stations to the security agencies. Then, in addition, we also give them the flash points. That is, on the day of the elections, anything at all can happen. There are certain police stations which are well noted for disruption of electoral activities in that particular polling station. So that is one aspect. Then the other one is with the security of the whole district or constituency. I hope you get me. So the issue is the security agencies are responsible for maintenance of law and order before, during, and after. The EC is the body which is constitutionally mandated to run what? Elections. When there is an issue like the people, maybe mob or the whole community agitating, not taking part in an election, it is the work of the security, although it can impact negatively on the elections. What we do is that we engage the security agencies, and it is the security agencies who will be able to tell us whether the district is good enough to have the elections. So when we engage them and the security agencies are able to tell us that it is not good for us to run the elections, we can hold on with the elections. And a typical example is what happened in Nkranza North and South, where the security agencies advise the commission to hold on to those two district elections. So that is exactly what we can do. We can engage the police and then find out from them if it is advisable, if it is feasible to run the elections in Ekumfi.
So in the light of this, you say you're contacting or you're discussing with the police to find out whether you will be able to go ahead with the election?
Yeah, definitely. Once I'm hearing this from you, we cannot also rest on our oars. What we can do is that we will engage the police administration in Accra and then tell them that this is what we are also hearing. Probably they also have the same information and they are also trying to find antidote to it. So after we've actually engaged them, we will know what to do, whether we can actually run the elections or not.
If you can give us some more information on the security plan generally for the election, such that should this happen, not just in Ekumfi but other places, we'll be able to respond and appropriately do so.
Okay, with the security situation, it is the security agencies, especially the Ghana Police Service, which is able to pick signals or let's say information as to what is happening at this place or not. We to some extent can actually also get some sort of information, but the only thing that we can do is to inform the security agencies. We cannot actually do anything about that. So it is based on the advice of the Ghana Police Service or the security agencies that we can actually go ahead and run an election in the district or not.
But given the opportunity, what would you say to the people of Ekumfi?
What I will say to the people of Ekumfi is that we are all one people, and our destinies are in our own hands. We are expected to go to the polls and then elect our unit committee and assembly members. We cannot actually get everything in our districts. I hope you get me. But the only thing is, we may only have to exercise restraint, and then not only based on development that you say you cannot exercise your franchise or whatever. So my advice is that maybe they can go and then vote tomorrow and then channel their grievances through the appropriate courts.
Thank you.
So what will electoral officers who are being threatened by residents of Ekumfi Muna do about the situation? Samuel Okran Akins is a Ekumfi District Electoral Officer. He joins me via phone. Good evening and thanks for your time. Mr. Akins, good evening. You are on JoyNews Prime.
Good evening, madam.
The situation looks scary. Would you still go on with the election of the district level elections?
Yeah, the district level election will go on.
For
now,
area.
It's only one electoral area that have an issue that we are all talking about. That is Imuna.
Yes.
Electoral area. For now, the decision lies in the hands of my bosses. That is the commission. And the commission is also waiting that the security will advise the commission on what to do. So for now, that is what I'm waiting for. We've done all the preparations, and we are waiting for the signal that will come. Either we are going to conduct the election at Imuna or not. That is what we are waiting for.
So what are your plans for the area tomorrow?
For now, as I said, we've done all the preparations, and we all know that the elections is to go on tomorrow. That is being 17th December, as we are all aware. But for now, as I said, for Electoral Commission, ours is to conduct elections. And for now, what is going on, we cannot, I cannot sit at my office and say we are not going to conduct the election at Imuna, or we are going to conduct it. We are only waiting for the instruction that will come from above, that is for my bosses. And as I'm told by my regional director, the chairperson and the commission, commission, is also waiting from the security the letter or the instruction or the information that the security will give to the commission. And based on that, I think my bosses will take decisions.
I'm grateful for your time. Samuel Okran Akins is a Kumfi District Electoral Officer. Now, the Electoral Commission has also been explaining its plans for persons with disability. Deputy EC Chairman in charge of operations, Samuel Tete, speaks on that.
The Commission has also made arrangements for persons with disability. All eligible voters are informed that persons with disabilities will not be required to join long queues at the polling stations and therefore must be given the opportunity to vote anytime they arrive at the polling station to vote. In addition, the Commission has provided tactile ballot jackets in addition to the ballot paper for the visually impaired to enable them vote.
So what will influence your vote tomorrow? Let's do a quick check around. First to Achimota, my colleague Komla Adum spoke to some residents of the Trobo electoral area who said roads and healthcare are key factors that will determine how they vote at the December 17 district level elections.
Ahead of the district level elections, JoyNews finds out preparations made by the candidates in the Trobo electoral area so far and how prepared the community is for tomorrow's polls. Residents of Trobo say roads and healthcare delivery are key factors they will consider before casting their ballots.
I would go in for the person who would come and work.
Yes, of course, he has done a lot of things. Even if somebody is not feeling well, you make sure that you come and pick the person to the hospital and take the person back. And a lot of activities have been going on here. At least he's the one that we are going to vote for him.
Interesting. Emizano?
Yeah.
Apart from what Asantwa and David have spoken to us about, the health screening, the drainage problems, the roads, what more has convinced you to vote for Mandela at tomorrow's polls?
Yeah, compared to what I've done, you see the street light. Before there was no street light here, but now you can go around this place, you can see light all around.
We should take this advantage and then tell people about the assembly election. Is equally important as the MP and the presidential. Okay, because I know the assemblymen really work. They really work. I don't want to compare them to other, candidates. They really work. They work for the MPs and the presidentials as well. Yeah.
Incumbent assembly member for the Trobo electoral area, Mandela Yuafi Edward, believes he has done enough to secure another term in office to continue projects he's lobbied for.
Over the past 4 years, I've been with them. We have improved in terms of developmental projects, and that is why my people want to give me the second nod so that I can continue with the developmental projects. It is things that I have lobbied through our MP, through our municipal chief executive or our districts, and then through stakeholders within the community.
But some residents have vowed not to vote, citing empty promises from candidates as reasons.
I will not vote in the district level election. There is no need to vote.
But one to other people will make a decision on your behalf or take care of it.
No, the minimum bet. The one more kotoa, the one de bema ebiano, the me pen or bad, the me person on your mamma no one yet. It's one day befanisa. I'm okay with whoever is choosing, but I won't vote.
Ideas ni biato asum. The almost on be biato asum.
Oh, biato masum bet. Nina and tronco. O caso you be dia samoma na be you na be kwan aboa. It can the obeti. All the ideas by the candidates are lies and are never fulfilled. Yes, now casa oba mehwa mere mo ebe ye kwan betutu apotos. The dada man I didn't know one into apotos na fe na yento aba ma wansa na be.
Trobo electoral area is still in focus. A few hours to the local level elections, and we'll be speaking to another of the candidates who is vying for the position of assembly member here. We've been hearing from some of the community folk. I'm joined by Robert Enchi Echampon. What ideas have you been sharing with the youth, and from your engagement with them, what has been their reception to the ideas you've been sharing?
My ideas that I share with the youth is about educating the youth on social vices. There is no denying the fact that the moral standard of our present-day youth is at a very low ebb and must be a serious concern to all citizens.
And how are you going to address this issue of the social vices among the youth?
I'll do a forum to educate them on that.
We have a third male candidate for the position of Assembly Member of a Trobu electoral area, Raymond Kofi Yeboah. We are just going to be speaking to him briefly to understand what ideas he's been sharing with the electorate and what the expectations are a few hours to the poll. What have you been telling the people?
We have a road network problem, sanitation, drainage system, and then street lighting. What am I asking them to vote for me? When they vote for me, together with the landlord association, then we can build a new Achimota to expectation that all we want to be. And what I need is their support. And then because as an assembly member, you alone cannot do the work.
From 3 out of the 4 candidates who are vying for the position of assembly member for the Trobu electoral area, at the end of poll on Tuesday, it will be seen whether Mr. Mandela Rafi Edward, who is the incumbent, will be giving another term, or would it be Mr. Robert Nchi Champong who will be giving the mandates, or would it be Mr. Kofi Yeboah who will take the position? I have to say that we tried to speak to the 4th candidate, Madame Nafiatu, but we were unable to reach her. So divided views and opinions from electorates here. Some of them you heard say they are not going to vote at all. Others are going to go out and vote. It remains to be seen how it all pans out. So from the Trobu electoral area, specifically Kingsby Roundabout, I am Komla Adom reporting for Joy News.
Back here in the studio, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Now to the Volta region, from here where Fred Kwamesari reports that water, health, ICT and telecommunications network challenges are the main issues that will influence their votes.
Mache electoral area is in the whole municipal assembly. Residents here are mostly peasant farmers. 5 residents have registered to contest this year's district assembly elections for this area. As usual of Ghanaian elections, the community has been flooded with posters and billboards of the candidates. The incumbent, Seth Smiles Kwaku Asempa, has the biggest billboard which displays projects he has lobbied for on behalf of the community during his tenure. However, his contenders are hopeful of flooring him in the election, irrespective of the achievement he clinges onto. Some of the candidates have been speaking to Joy News.
I'm the first person on the ballot paper. I want to be an assemblyman for this community because we, the youth, we need job. The past assembly members have not been looking at those things. And so we want job for the youth in the community. We want development, we want changes. That is all I want to do. And I know the youths are behind me. The elderly ones are also behind me.
I am due to represent my people at the assembly for development. That is because being a contractor working all over the country and seeing what is going on, development going on in even small villages in the northern region, the Ashanti region, western, and I think we are also qualified for such development to be made in my hometown, Mache, and for Mache to also be in part of the world as the modernization is taking place of late, which we all know in Ghana. That is one reason why I'm touched for my people to also have a relief because our location has proven that we need such development also in our community. Oh. For sure. I once worked with hospital engineering at the Kolobu Teaching Hospital, being an engineer representative before. I know the essence and importance of NGOs, and the development NGOs are coming across in many of the areas that you as a journalist should also know as well. So I am touched to have in contact or in touch with some of the NGOs for further absolute development in my community. So my coming to the assembly, basically not exactly from what the assembly will produce.
But what are the things that matter to the voters? The residents have tabled some key issues important to them.
No matter what, the person that will be made as the winner tomorrow, when the person is made as the winner, we as what? Mache community, we as Mache community wins. Okay? It's not about fighting. That's not the case. Whoever made as the winner is going to what? Drive us to a point where this township will reach its peak in terms of development. Okay. Now, what are the things we need in this community? ICT center, 1. School library, so that the peoples the future generation of this community will be able to have in-depth knowledge in education.
The proposed vetting of Chief Justice nominee Justice Elini Abua continues to generate controversy as the minority accuses Chairman of the Appointments Committee of bad faith. Outgoing Chief Justice Ofeyo Kufu is due to retire by December 20. Chairman of the Appointments Committee is proposing the nominee be vetted before the 20th of December, but the minority is accusing the majority side of rushing the process to approve him. However, Chairperson of the Appointments Committee and First Deputy Speaker Jose Usu says a consensus was reached on the matter.
I requested a meeting the day the announcement was made. I specifically invited the leaders. I didn't have to. All I needed was a quorum. But I specifically requested the leaders of the minority to be present. At the meeting, I put forward a proposal that in view of the time left for Parliament to adjourn, let me announce at that time we had already advertised that we will adjourn on the 21st. Let us advertise from the Friday, that's the day after, and do the vetting the Saturday. The Thursday after, so that our report could be ready for the plenary to consider on the Saturday, the 21st. After long discussions, the compromise which we agreed upon, and I'm emphasizing agreed upon, it was announced by the minority leader. In fact, let me say it was suggested by him that let's do a full 1 week and then do the vetting on 21st. Then let Parliament extend its sitting from 21st to 23rd. That was the conclusion we agreed and upon which the meeting adjourned. Now, where's the basis for accusing me of bad faith, personalizing the appointment? And I'm asking you to please tell them to point out which of the standing orders of Parliament we have breached.
Well, in the last few hours, the minority has issued a statement justifying why they are boycotting the vetting of the justice nominee. Now, let's check out the statement that was issued by the minority, and it says, part of it reads, it is an act of bad faith for the chairman of First Deputy Speaker to unilaterally and hurriedly set a date for public hearing and convey same to the general public, much to the bewilderment of members of Parliament. The First Deputy Speaker's rather curious conduct is absolutely unfortunate, as it undoubtedly undermines the image and credibility of Parliament, which must not be sacrificed on the altar of long-time friendship and familiarity. In the circumstances, the minority reiterates that we will not be part of the Appointments Committee Chairman's unilateral public vetting advertised for the 21st of December 2019. In our considered view, since public memorandum lapses on Friday, Parliament may have to sit beyond 21st December to consider the matter. Looking at the urgency and for its expeditious handling, I conveyed to the majority leader, majority chief whip, and later to the deputy speaker the outcome in our consultations as a minority in Parliament. Our proposal is for the nominee to be considered any day from the 23rd to 27th or 30th December 2019. We're demanding respect for processes and better management of time, with particular reference to the high office of Chief Justice. The minority remains open to consultations on the matter consistent with our practices and rules as directed by Right Honourable Speaker Professor Mike Okwe on Friday, December 13, 2019. The majority stands ready at all times to carry out its constitutional duties in the national interest. However, we refuse to become pawns in self-serving machinations to undermine Parliament by setting precedents that will only enter the annals of infamy. Welcome back now to the rest of our stories. And residents of the airport residential area here in Accra are demanding the immediate halt to the construction of a 22-story building overlooking the Association International School and some houses there. Authorities of the school say the construction has taken over one of the major roads in the area and is posing risk to residents and students. She says the work has forced parents to use alternative routes whenever they drop the children off at school. There's more in the following report.
The building at the center of the controversy is located close to the Association International School in the airport residential area. Residents say a Turkish investment firm is undertaking the construction of the building, which is believed to be a 22-story shopping mall. According to them, the heavy construction is affecting buildings in the area, including schools, some of which have developed cracks as a result. Headmistress of the Association International School, Audrey Dayumo, fears the construction poses a real risk to students and residents alike. She tells JoyNews several petitions to all relevant government officials have fallen on deaf ears. According to her, even after the court ordered the contractors to stop work, they refused.
We cannot let it happen. We cannot let this people come in and flaunt our laws in front of us and basically not adhere to what we the laws of our land protects us against. So let's rise, let's basically come against this illegal construction and stop them in their shoes. Despite everything, they're still building. That means that somebody big must be behind them, but we need to find out who that big man is, because you are not going to get away with it. Not this time. You went ahead and you built Mirage. I'm sure under the same guise, but this time you've got us to fight with, and we've gotten the community involved, so we are going to make a difference.
A major road here, Senchi Street, is presently caving in as a result of the construction. The residents want the authorities to intervene quickly before a disaster occurs.
It is causing a lot of traffic. Without notice, it's closed. It's a danger because it's taking half the street. Saturday, I was walking to my friend's place just here, and there is no, how do I say, you know, the hard hats and whatever, and there's stuff written to say this is a construction site, careful, what, there's nothing, and it was cloth. There was cloth, yellow and grey cloth they'd used to cover the site, which is totally not the case. I believe that if the court has already told them to stop work and they're doing it with impunity, when it's time for the cranes, you can imagine.
Beyond amazed or frustrated that a building which apparently has no building permit can be started, can continue. Our property has had the external wall collapse. The wall is very close to the boys' quarters, and the builders have absolutely no concern. Their attitude is, well, don't worry, if it collapses, we'll compensate you. But there are people living in that boys' quarters, and so how can you take the attitude that allow it to collapse and then we will compensate you? And I can't understand that the Ayawaso Municipal Authority are there to protect our interests and have absolutely nothing. They appear to have no interest in putting a stop to their building until appropriate building permission is given.
There was chaos at the Takwa Circuit Court today when head pastor of the Zoe Outreach Embassy Church, Pastor Kevin Elson Godson, was accosted by some aggrieved customers of his El Real Estate and Tikori Capital Limited over their locked-up funds. The aggrieved customers who had massed up at the court premises over a related case held the renowned man of God by his neck, dragged him and attempted to assault him. The leader of the East Legon-based church resigned as head pastor some days ago after some of his customers planned to disrupt one of his programs. Joseph Akablay was there last 2 weeks and now reports.
church service had been advertised, but the service is not coming off on Sunday because aggrieved investors have once again besieged the premises, singing and demanding their locked up cash. They accuse the founder of the church of failing to heed to his pledge to pay them their locked up investments within 90 days. We can listen to some of them who pitched camp here at the church premises at East Legon.
Kevin sat in front of them and told them that he will pay us in 3 months' time. The 3 months, 90 days was due, but Kevin didn't pay. As I'm talking to you today, we are dying. We are sick of so many diseases. We are suffering. Strokes. People are dying. We cannot stand this anymore.
And that was a report filed 2 weeks ago. Now watch how it all happened on the premises of a court in Tarkwa. In a related development, a recent social media post by the CEO of Men's Gold, Nanapia Mensah, he stated payment schedule will be announced on Wednesday, and this is what he said. On his Instagram post, he said final payment schedules and method to be communicated on the 18th December 2019. In line with our resolve to broadly consult and promote inclusiveness, I urge all to whom it may concern to email suggestions to Men's Gold CEO1@gma or at gmail.com now until 6 p.m. by December 17, 2019. Hashtag Ghana shall prosper. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. For more news and updates of developing stories, log on to myjoyonline.com. And on behalf of the rest of the team, good evening.